I've been wanting to review this Hobart Handler 140 welder for quite some time, but I just haven't quite been sure how I want to do the video, so this is pretty much what I've come up with. I bought this welder in July of this past year, just basically as a tool for me to learn a new hobby. Obviously I was welding, and so far I really like this welder. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read off some of the official specs and then sort of work my way around the machine and just sort of give it an overview. So this is from the Hobart website. The Hobart Handler 140 MIG welder features: it can weld 24 gauge up to 1/4 inch mild steel, operates off 115 volt household current, 25 to 140 amp output, has a 20% duty cycle at 90 amps, cast aluminum wire drive system, 5-position voltage control settings, 200 amp heavy duty work clamp, dual groove quick change drive roll, durable feed head with quick release drive roll lever, weighs 57 pounds, has a manufacturer's warranty, and is designed and assembled in Troy, Ohio, United States. So like I said a minute ago, I bought this welder earlier this year just purely because I wanted to learn a new hobby. I had welded a little bit, but I wanted to sort of be able to do it whenever I wanted to, have my own system. And I got on and I did a bunch of reading, and don't quote me on this, but what I think I read is that Hobart is owned by the same company that owns Miller, and that they're pretty similar technology. I guess there can't be that much variation, but that they're pretty much the same company. The Hobart might use a little bit lower quality, in quotes, parts for not as heavy of a use, but for me it's worked just great. So you can use this welder either as a flux-core welder, which is what I've done, or as a MIG welder, because it comes with this included regulator and gas hose. And so you just simply hook these up, change your wire, change your polarity, and you're good to go. That's something I'd like to do in the future, but so far flux-cores work just fine for my learning purposes. We'll start out right here on the front of the machine. As we said in the specs, it's got a 5-position voltage control selector and wire speed from 10 to 100. I don't think that's actually inches per minute. I just think that's their arbitrary system. Got the overheating lamp, power switch, and then just the branding and the sticker. Now, for the gun and ground clamp, we have 10-foot leads of each, and they both just connect right up in here. Here's what the gun looks like. And the ground clamp. Now when you buy this, you have to put the clamp on to the cable, but that's just how it is. It's very good grip, hangs on real well. Now we'll move on to this side. Focused in. Flip up the door, and it comes with a trial spool, I suppose you could say, of flux-core wire, and that doesn't last very long. So this is actually my second spool here, and it also comes with an adapter to put an 8-inch spool in there. So here are connections. Here's the cast aluminum drive system it talks about, and the feed wheel here, one of them is sort of grooved or serrated for MIG wire, the other one is smooth for flux-core. So when you get the welder, you just stick the gun in here and tighten it all down. Then this right here is your adjuster for your tension, so your wire is not too loose or too tight when it feeds. And of course, up a little bit on the door, we have the thickness chart. As I said, it can do up to 1/4 inch mild steel, but I believe it's got a little star here for that, meaning multiple passes. I've never done anything past 1/8 inch or so. It's also got our polarity changing instructions for switching between flux-core and MIG. Here on the back is pretty much what you'd expect. Some basic electrical information, the serial number, part number, and the model number. This one is 500559. Assembled in USA, Troy, Ohio, Hobart Brothers Company. Over here is where you connect your gas hose if you're going to be running MIG. Here's a fuse, and it says to connect to a 20 amp breaker. So, pretty self-explanatory. Fourth side doesn't come up, and up top we just have some safety stickers and a handle. I believe this thing weighs 57 pounds. The rest of this video is just going to sort of be my personal feelings on the welder and sort of why I ended up with this one and some things you might want to consider if you're looking to buy one. I bought this welder, like I said, over the summer off of the Northern Tool website. It was $4.99, and they had free shipping and also $50 off if you spent over $250. So one of the reasons I bought this welder is because it was $450 delivered for a quality USA-made machine. Another reason I bought this, and this might be a reason that you're interested in one of these smaller welders, is that this room that I do all my stuff in only has 115 volt power. There's no 220 around here. Matter of fact, it only has 2 outlets, so it'd be a little bit, it's obviously out of range to get a big old welder in here. So that's something pretty important to consider. Another aspect, which sort of goes along with the first thing I said, is just that this is a hobby of mine. I'm not going to be doing any hardcore professional welding, so I don't really need tons of power. And so that's why I really recommend this welder for anybody that's starting or just wanting to play around a little bit, because you can do, you know, small crafts, horseshoes, whatever I put on my channel. That's all with this welder, obviously. You can do sheet metal, car exhaust, basically just small things like that, up, like it says on the sheet, up to a 1/4 inch. So that's I haven't gone that far. The highest I've ever put it was on voltage setting 3, and that's doing some angle iron and stuff like that. So as for the weld quality, I'm obviously not a professional. I just enjoy toying around with this kind of thing. It feels really, it's a very smooth operating machine. If you get it dialed in right, your wire just comes right out and it sizzles just like it's supposed to. And I'm running it flux-core, like I said, just because I haven't spent the money on a shielding gas tank yet. But there are some advantages to flux-core, like it has a little bit better penetration at the really high voltages. So if you are maxing this thing out, you might want to go flux-core just to get that little tiny bit more penetration if you need a little bit more power. But if that still won't do it, you're obviously going to want to get a bigger welder. This might not be considered a reason to buy the welder, but if you have it, I'd say that this welder has a very good instruction manual. It can take you from, covers every step of setting up the machine, even though 60-70% of it is definitely safety warnings. Plus it comes with this little metal thickness gauge, so you can know what gauge you're working with when you're setting your power. So like I said earlier in this video, I basically bought this welder just as a tool to help me learn a hobby that I was interested in, and so far it's definitely exceeded and fulfilled my expectations, because I know you can buy a $200 flux-core 90 amp wire welder at Harbor Freight, but I think this is one of those things where if you're going to show interest in something, you might as well just spend a little bit more money and get something that you know is designed and built in the USA, and it's got a good support network for parts. They have excellent forums that can help you weld just about anything. There's guys that have obviously put together all sorts of different things with all sorts of different welders, and it's just, this one really fulfills my expectations, and for what it's worth, it just definitely gets my full approval for a smaller household welder. I highly recommend it if you're looking to get one. So I thank you greatly for watching this video. I hope it's been a little bit helpful to somebody out there just looking for a hands-on walk around of this machine. Maybe you bought one and you're trying to figure it out, or maybe you're thinking about buying one, or maybe you're just up late on that part of YouTube looking at somebody talk about a piece of welding equipment. I don't know, but either way, I thank you for watching it. Stay tuned for more videos. I've got a few more welding projects coming up on this, coming up with like those horseshoe reindeer and all sorts of just different things. So look around for those. Thanks for watching.